Make it
Welcome
happen.
to another episode of Problematic the Podcast. Who I got in the building with me?
You got Soul Papi.
Soul Papi. How'd you come up with that name?
I come up with that. I'm Afro-Latino, bro. So I wanted to tie in both sides of the coin and try to talk about the complexities of being a darker skinned Dominican dude out here. So my Afro-Latino background inspired the name.
That makes sense. That makes sense. How people gravitated towards Soul Papi. I like the name. It makes sense. You know what I mean?
I
You're
appreciate
not
you.
not trying too hard with that. I get it right off the bat.
Right. Exactly. But the way people gravitated towards me is just, I try to be honest and pure with my music, try to talk about like my actual life as opposed to trying to like talk about what most people in hip hop and rap expect and all that stuff. And if I am talking about it in a more in-depth manner, you know what I mean? So instead of the usual, oh, I grew up in the hood or whatever, I seen people selling drugs and all that, be like, yo, I understand what you had to do to survive and all that, but there's like another way around it. You know what I mean? There's
For
another way that
sure.
you can grow and develop yourself through the streets and the hood.
That's one thing about being from the streets and not being in the streets. It's like we can
Mm-hmm.
see things. We know how and why they're going down. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? But for some people, they can get away from that and learn to pull themselves away from the dark parts of what's going on outside.
Yeah, for sure, man. Cause it's like one of those things where it's like seeing me, you don't think like that I have friends that have gone to jail that have, been killed or whatever the case may be, but like I don't want to present myself with just those stories in mind. Like there's another way to develop and grow yourself, like
Right?
you can be around that, but you don't have to necessarily be that all the way.
No, not at all. You don't even
Yeah.
have to. You don't even have to push that. You can push for everybody who's like you. You know what I mean? I seen Sue Surf said it one time because he was talking
Mm-hmm.
to a street dude. He said everybody is technically from the streets if they live there. He said even the little guy on the porch. He
Mm-hmm.
said he's not. He doesn't have to be outside selling drugs and doing everything that everybody else did, but he's from that block. He's from the streets. You know what I mean?
Correct.
Doesn't matter if you put your book bag on every day and went to school. You still from there. You know what I mean? You
100%.
seen you seen what goes down. You've experienced most of what goes down, and most of the time it'd be a financial thing. So your
Mm-hmm.
parents, you know what I mean, understand that.
Yeah.
Understand that too.
It's just socioeconomic development is what it is. It's essentially like everybody trying to develop themselves up, elevate to I guess a higher economic class and all that, and they just see what they feel is the best approach, and sometimes that's not the answer. But it happens. It happens.
How do you carry across those sentiments in your music?
So I try again. I try to be honest and pure with what I'm talking about and everything. So as much as I talk about situations around me, I talk about it from the perspective of like my family, what I saw, and everything like that. Because I grew up over here on Ninth and Elm. My family had a grocery store back in the day, and
They don't have it anymore.
nah, not anymore. Not
Okay.
nah. But we had the grocery store, and us living above the grocery store, there was like an apartment there that we all lived in. We were we were seeing both sides of the coin where we're seeing socioeconomic development on as far as like my family and business and all that,
Mm-hmm.
but then you also see like at the same time
The
all that's
streets.
happening, you see the
So,
streets.
so
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
on
you
Ninth
see
and Elm.
exactly. You see the streets, you see like on the corner, like folks is obviously just standing there posted up, like you
Right.
you know what's going on, but you don't say nothing.
For sure.
Like
Mind your business.
yeah, right. Like yeah, you follow what that the ethics that are there while still maintaining the path that you wanna go towards.
For sure.
So yeah, I try to talk about all those things in a particular way that people can relate to without feeling like oh he's trying to sound like he's hood and like I'm not trying to sound like anything like that. I'm just this is my reality. This is what I
Right.
experience.
Exactly.
So yeah, that's how I like to come across on the music. Just pure and honest and hopefully I relate to you in some capacity.
No, you definitely relate to a bunch of people because everybody, you know what I mean, could come from small city, big city,
Mm-hmm.
street like mentality, but just wasn't in the streets. You know what I
Correct.
mean? You relate to more people than you don't, because not everybody was outside for real.
Right,
You know what I
right.
mean?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So who do you hope to convey these messages to? Like, do you try to reach street people too? Like, hey, bro, you can get out of this.
Yeah, man. Like I try to connect to as much as I'm trying to connect to like let's say like I'm mostly who I'm trying to connect to is like the little kid on the block who is witnessing all these things too, but feels like they feel like a little bit despair and everything like that. They can
Okay.
hear it, they can put on one of my songs and they'll be like, oh, so someone has seen this before, they have experienced this before, they know what I'm feeling. Let me continue listening to them. Cause like I have a song called Let Go that's about like the homies I grew up with who chose a different path than I did, of course.
Right.
But I don't knock them for taking that route. It's what's in front of them. Like it's essentially like an easier path to go towards than say like staying in school or trying to build yourself up through entrepreneurship and all that stuff.
Right.
Like
Because
it's
that's just
easy.
difficult.
Yeah, and for what it's worth, like me and my siblings have to debate all the time. Like the product that they're selling is wrong, of course. Like it's like causing harm in the community. But like a lot of those people who are out in the field, if you will, like they're entrepreneurs.
Oh, they are. They are.
Yeah,
They're
they're
they're business
entrepreneurs.
savvy.
Yeah, they're business savvy. They're business people. You know what I mean? It's
Some of
just
them.
some of them, absolutely some of them, not all, but like they're just
But you
sell.
you
Yeah,
said it. It's easy. What they're doing
correct.
is easy for them to do. It's
Right.
it's a little more difficult than to get like a little brick and mortar spot and then start moving things out that way. And then,
Absolutely.
trying to
Absolutely.
get like a legal
Yeah.
what am I looking for? Like legal things to sell.
Right. And if you're trying to provide for your family as quickly and as efficiently as possible, I get it. Like I totally do. It's just the product is
Yeah.
causing harm, is what
It's
it is.
detrimental to somebody else's family.
Right, exactly. That's that, and that's the issue. So like again, I don't knock. I try to be as understanding as possible to people in those type of predicaments, and just convey the message of we get it, but it don't have to be that way. There's other ways you can make it work, and you can build for your family and all that. So I try to convey that story to whether it's people on the streets, or little kids, whatever the case may be. Like I just want people to know, like you don't have to take that direction. I understand the direction, but it don't necessarily have to be that way.
Absolutely right. Now talk to me about Fade Away.
So Fade Away, it was my attempt because I'm obviously like the way I'm talking and presenting the stories and all that. I lean more towards like a lyrical conscious approach to things, but
Hmm.
like as much as I enjoy doing that and try to build that up, I also wanted to challenge myself to see can I write a song that could work for club and radio and still convey the message that I'm trying to convey, and that's what Fade Away ultimately became. It was just like a trap song that me and my producer J Rod we were just cooking up in the studio. He had that beat ready, and I just like jokingly started saying like we do not fade away and all this stuff, and I was like, that sounds kind of hot,
That's
So
hey man, the music impulse works.
exactly, yeah, it was like a real spontaneous sort of song. Like we didn't think I didn't think it was gonna be something I was gonna realistically try to put out, but I was like, nah, I mean, we might as well just try it out, see where it goes and all that. And so far, so good. I mean, I dropped it. I don't know when the episode is gonna drop, but I dropped it today, and I've been getting positive reception for it. People liked it, So
I definitely like it. I
yeah,
definitely like it.
yeah.
I could we discussed before, like even the way you sent me the track, a lot of artists don't be on that. They
Mm-hmm.
don't know how to send a DJ a record, which is not their fault because there's really nobody out there teaching them that
Yep.
shit. I
Right.
just know because I'm a DJ and I'd be like, all right, well, I know how I'd like to receive a record,
Mm-hmm.
but I know for a fact there's nobody out there coaching anybody to like, hey, you should do it like this, and then send it to them.
Right.
You
Right.
know what I mean? Give them a clean, dirty, possibly instrumental if you know.
Yeah. No, I try to do research as much as possible as to what would a DJ want it like when being sent a record or how like I like to carry myself very professional as much as possible.
It
So
works.
yeah,
It translates, comes right through.
yeah, man.
As soon as I seen the record, I was like, oh, this guy knows what he's doing.
Right,
I say,
right. Right. Yeah, and that's always the goal. Like I want to leave people impressed by the professionalism as much as the music too. Like there's a balance between art and commerce
this
and the
this is the
commerce.
music business. You know what I mean? So
Correct.
that word business does apply And
Correct.
sometimes it's it's the devil inside of
Mm-hmm.
right next to the art, but it got to
Yeah.
get done.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So what role does visual art play in your presentation, man? What's going on? You got some videos dropping soon?
So working on a video for Fadeaway. Cause I don't have too many music videos. I've attempted it before, but like I know it's very important in the social media world, this internet age. Although I didn't grow up all like that, I'm more so just like, yo, got the song, we gonna drop it. Grew up in like the mixtape and blog era, so there
Right.
were videos, but like,
I miss that era. I
yeah,
miss mixtapes and blogs.
me too, me too.
Content's cool,
Mm-hmm.
but I definitely miss mixtapes and
Yeah,
blogs.
I would listen like I listened to J. Cole the warm up. I didn't know there were music videos for like within the album and all that. It was just yo, I enjoyed the music, so I was used to like just yo, here's the music, enjoy that, boom, boom, boom. But that's not the reality in this day and age. Now it's a matter of like you gotta have the content, you gotta have the music video, you gotta work the internet basically. So
People got to see your
that's
face.
yeah, and that's the challenge that I'm working with now. So things like this are definitely helpful. And I'm trying to, just hopefully get the music video out in an efficient time where people can feel the story even further.
You ever my favorite independent artist right now is La Russell.
Ooh, yeah.
Like I like the way he goes about doing his content
Mhm.
and all of that because he doesn't have to do it like almost everybody else does, like a signed artist. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
He does real guerrilla style shit, and you can
Yeah.
see it. Like, all right, that's dope. He'll do the same verse. He'll do 6 videos with the same verse and drop them all week, and they really just be him walking down the street in Crocs.
Right, right, right. Nah, La Russell like one of my favorite people to study as it relates to like the independent grind and everything like that. Because like you said, it's very organic, natural. He's not thinking too hard about it. He's just like very much so going on impulse, and that's a lot of
And
like
he's doing it.
yeah,
You know what I
and
mean?
he's doing it.
All you gotta really do is do it, and then be
Correct.
consistent in doing it.
Correct. And that's the goal that I have for myself is not necessarily like of course it's always about consistency. It's just a matter of like just putting it out there. Just putting it out there. Don't think too hard about it cuz one of my key issues is like I'm like a deep perfectionist and everything like that. And with music, it's also like you have to sell your product and you need to have the product for people to listen to in the first place. So like as much as I'm trying to like make sure the sounds are right, this, that, and the third, boom, boom, boom. If I hear like, yo, like someone heard the rough version, it's hot, I'm like, all right, time to go, time to make it work. So yeah, it's just a matter of like developing the consistencies and all that good stuff. But I'm learning to get out of my perfectionist approach and just like embrace the opportunity at hand, follow my intuition because my intuition hasn't failed me before. So just gotta let it
It
ride.
never really does.
Nah, never.
I don't think a lot of people's intuition fails them. It's not like a failing thing.
Mm-mm. Never. Never ever. Intuition's undefeated.
You got any collabs or people hopeful tracks that you're trying to get on this project?
So on the we're probably talking like the second album that I got working on, but yeah, like I have some artists out in New York, specifically the Bronx, because of like this track that I have on there that I'll hold off on the details before while they're getting ironed out and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But like artists out in New York, there's an artist named Key Story who I think is fire. She's like a real like New York heavy. Although her name is controversial nowadays, Nicki Minaj inspired and everything. So I like to work with artists who fit the story, but for people who know me, it's a little out of my comfort zone and everything like that because it shows like I'm willing to push the boundaries of my art and work with people and know and let people know that I'm listening and everything like that. So yeah, that's one of the people. And then there are others that outside of the album and everything that I'm working on that I've always wanted to collaborate with. I know locally I've always wanted to collaborate with Max Simi. That's
Really? That's my guy.
yeah. That's one of my favorite artists out here for
Okay.
sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Simi's I met Simi, he was probably like I met him before he turned 23. So he's
Okay.
probably like 21, 22.
Yeah.
But he's always as an artist had like an older feel. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because of his content. It's
Right.
like it's pain music. It wasn't he wasn't necessarily doing trap and stuff like that. He can,
Mm-hmm.
but
Yeah.
he just wasn't, and that's why I respected Simi so much because
Yeah.
he didn't fit like what everybody else was doing
Right.
type music. You know what
Right.
I mean? He was still able to give me something I could think about.
Yeah, it's earnest, it's honest music, and that's what I can respect and appreciate. Like he'll talk about his struggles. He'll be very vulnerable with his music, but you can still feel like there's a hunger within like the vulnerability, and that's what I could appreciate. If you're vulnerable, but still you can sense the hunger like within the music, I'm probably gonna be a fan. And Max Simmons, he's got it. So that's someone I definitely want to collaborate at some point in time.
I feel that. Describe to me your growth as an artist from your last project to the one that you're currently working
Mm-hmm.
on.
So the last project was actually following Intuition Undefeated. It was just an intuitive project, but it worked so well with what the now planned trilogy is gonna be. Um, so this first album was created as a response to losing my mom to cancer in 2021.
I just
Um,
lost my mom to
yeah.
cancer this year.
Oh, my condolences, bro. My condolences. But I lost her in 2021, and then 2 months later, like just started working on music again with my producer J Rod, and
Shout out to J Rod too. He
shout out to
DJs
J
and
Rod.
produces too.
Yeah, that's my guy. That's my guy. But we just started working on music, and like the way the album is set, it's called Ready to Fly. The way the album is listed, like in order, that's how it was created. So it was all just like intuitive. What are we working on this time? And it just happened to fit the project and everything. So this first one was all about self love, losing my mom, everything like that, learning to accept myself as an artist and let my intuition win, basically, and just follow what my gut is telling me as an artist and everything. This next project is letting people know why I was so hesitant in the first place. Like
Okay.
it's the early childhood stories, taking it back to the grocery store days and like what I saw on the streets and everything like that, and along with like other tales and everything like that. There's so much to convey through the stories and all that. That my growth within it is I've gotten sharper as a writer. I've gotten a better ear for like the production that I know works for my style and taste. I'm very like East Coast rap inspired 100% of the way through. So like Rockefeller, State Property, Dipset, like that specific time, like early 2000s East Coast rap. That's my home field. Like that's where I strive the most. So it's just taking it back to that sound and that time period, and telling you my story, what like why I was so hesitant, what caused like this internal battle of like follow my intuition and not and all that stuff. And hopefully people relate. Hopefully the dude on the street and the little kid on the block can understand what I'm trying to convey.
All right. I respect that. So, what are your plans for promoting the project?
Shoot.
Shows, some music. I mean, not
Yeah.
music,
Right now. I
merch.
feel you. Yeah. So I got merch right now on my website, soulpapi.com.
Oh, find me on soulpapi.com.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Fire.
Nah,
This
we
guy's professional, man.
locked in, man. Trying to, man. Trying to.
I love to see it.
You know?
You have no idea.
Yeah. I feel it. But yeah, no, you go on soulpoppy.com. I'll have merch there. As far as like promotion and all that, I'm looking to get myself into certain spaces and perform my music and everything like that, and hopefully people can gravitate towards it. Um, I don't know if they've made the announcement yet, but I am performing at the Sixth Ward Block Party that's happening in September for the city of Reading.
A sixth ward block party. Now they didn't announce that yet.
Yeah.
We
I
still
believe
on.
no, I might be saying it wrong. It might not be Sixth Ward Block Party. I believe District 1, something like that. I have to look at the details again, but I am performing at a block party on September 21st. 30-minute set. So now I haven't done 30-minute set before, but I'm
30
willing
minutes.
to.
That's a long set,
It's a
bro.
long set. It's a long set, but I'm excited for it. I'm ready to again just take on the challenges, follow my intuition and all that. And trying to get into more spaces, trying to connect with people in like Philadelphia, New York, New Jersey, all that. Really trying to like promote, of course, but then also like really trying to like regain the love and feel for East Coast rap. Because I feel like we kind of we kind of lost that a little bit. So
Okay.
like I'm going off on a tangent. Let me answer the question. So promoting through events, promoting online, merch is online. So following all of that, making sure I get that down pat. So yeah, I've just been promoting online and performing at events.
Dope, bro. As you should. Get the name out there.
Yes sir, yes
They're gonna
sir,
feel it one day. You gotta throw some of them T-shirts in the crowd.
yes sir, yes sir. That's the goal.
So, what keeps you motivated as an artist?
Just trying to be the best I can be. Like I'm going against myself at this point. I always tell myself, if you're not writing, somebody else is. Somebody's winning. If I'm not writing, if I'm not trying to get better at the craft, if I'm not listening to beats or this and the third, somebody else is. I don't like that feeling, and I try to maintain sharpness as much as possible with the pen. And then on top of that, just trying to get more into the event space, live performances, and everything like that. Because that was something that I wasn't doing as much.
Mhm.
So I'm trying to compete with myself, and find like the venues and all that where I can perform, keep practicing, keep getting better, finding open mics as well, and just developing, man, just developing. But I'm always competing with myself. It's never with anybody outside. Like um
It should always
that
be like that.
yeah, yeah. I don't wanna say that in like that seems like it's like an arrogant sort of way.
No, no,
I'm just
no.
not competing with anybody
Look,
else. It's just
a
myself.
lot of people who do, or not a lot of people, but a lot of the greats, they
Yeah.
don't be listening to the other guy's music. You know what I mean? They listen
Mm-hmm.
to like a whole different genre, perhaps, because it's
Yeah.
all about what keeps you motivated in your element to
Mm-hmm.
stay at your top form. You know what I mean? Because if you
Absolutely.
get caught up in what everybody else is doing, you might start doing that.
Correct. Correct. And that's what I'm trying to ultimately avoid. Again, just if I do listen to anyone, it's to hear how they're probably saying certain things or how they're enunciating their words and this that, and the third. Take inspiration, but not copy them. I don't want to bite anybody's
For
style.
sure.
I'm just trying to develop myself and find ways to better my own music and my own self as much as humanly possible. So yeah, that I'm always motivated just by myself. And when I hear like rappers like Nas still going, rappers like Jay-Z, or just anybody really from like that field that I'm inspired by the most. Like
Jay-Z due for a verse before this year ends.
I know he do it,
He gave
man.
us God Did, that was last year. Yeah, he
Uh
do.
huh.
He do for a verse before this year
Nah,
ends.
he like I don't know. It looked like he's like hinting at an album, but like he hasn't said nothing yet either. I'm like,
You good?
bro, like,
Listen, Beyonce is the queen of the album drops Friday.
uh huh,
You ain't know nobody was working on it.
yeah, yeah, and
So
like
him
four
being
four
behind
four.
that.
Yeah, well, like 444 might be. Again, we're going off a little off topic, but like that might be like it might be my favorite Jay Z album, bro. Like maybe I know there's
I feel
reasonable
that.
doubt,
444
Blueprint, but
444 was the growth.
yes, yes,
He spent
that
a lot of time growing up between, I want to say,
it was
the
Magnet.
Blueprint 3,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Magna Carta, and American Gangster.
Uh
But the
huh.
444 was like absolute growth. It's like, all right,
Correct.
let's say he's right there.
Right,
We're not
right.
going to get that, none of that old Jay
Yeah,
Z.
and but even with that goes back to what I was saying of like you could talk about the streets, but like showing people like you don't necessarily have to stay in that element. Like he said, don't die over the neighborhood that your mama's renting. Take
Right?
your drug money and buy the neighborhood. That's how you rent it. So it's like that sort of message. That's what inspires
I
me.
just
Cause
watched a
like,
reel from him the other day when people were talking about would you take what was it $500,000 a dinner with Jay Z, and he was like, he said you should take the money and go back and buy the music
huh,
and listen to everything I said
uh
because it's literally the blueprint. You don't have to.
huh.
He said all I'm going to tell you is everything I've been telling you.
Uh huh. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, man. Jay Z is one of them ones. Him and Nas, I hats off to them.
Hats off to those brothers. It's
Hmm.
all right. Give me your top three.
Oh, damn. um. Wow. So if I had to do a top three,
No order.
no order, of course. I'm gonna go Jay Z, Kendrick, and Nas. Those are my three.
I'll allow it. I knew you was gonna say that. I had a feeling. I was like, he's gonna say Jay-Z, Kendrick, and Nas.
Uh-huh.
Look like a Kendrick fan.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. 100%, bro. 100%. I can't deny it.
Nah, I ain't mad at bro. Kendrick was he still is like one of my favorite rappers for real, for real.
Mhm.
Just having a tough time with this whole pedo record that he got popping right now.
Listen, listen. You know, that's where like hip hop is we remind ourselves that hip hop is also a sport. Mind you, what's going on with that beef, it was a little more personal.
Yeah,
but
it's more personal. For all parties involved, it's super personal.
correct. But hats off to both of them for the for the beef that not that I've been like anticipating this for.
They
for
made
years.
each other do what we were missing. I'm tired of fucking
Yes.
singy ass Drake. Please get on these tracks and rap as hard as you possibly can. And I'm tired of motherfucking super Christian Kendrick. Get out here and start making niggas dance.
Right. Yeah, like they were both just locked in on making sure people knew like how strong they were as artists, and it's just really the separator between the two was just strategy, to be honest.
Yeah,
Like
it's just-
Kendrick went back to back twice, like whereas we kind of we didn't see that coming, even though he hinted at it.
He used that man's own strategy against him
Yes.
2 times in a row.
Yes.
Effectively.
Yes.
You know what I mean? To the point where like nothing you just dropped 5 minutes ago even matters. Because I said it when They Not Like Us dropped. I was like, yeah, he did it with this one. Because it's an actual bop. Like,
yeah.
Fuck everything that's been going on and you guys getting on these tracks and these boom bappity beats with all these feels and saying all this hard shit. This nigga's trying to make you dance now to not liking you.
Right. But like he again, it was just like